Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 2 is out in full on Disney+. Another 16-episode season of the animated show from the Star Wars universe. We keep following the titular Bad Batch, the group of variously defective clones who managed to not take part in Order 66 and defect from the Imperial Army to go off on their merry adventures together with a young female clone named Omega. The second season has them continue on their journey, which is partly side quests, Monster of the Week type episodes where they do one-off missions for the fixer named Sid, and partly a larger storyline that is happening across the season that seems to be building up towards Palpatine's cloning experiments and an eventual clone rebellion. Now, as a result of this dichotomy, the season is once again uneven. Some of the episodes are pretty mediocre, mostly the ones focusing on the one-off adventures. However, some are pretty great. I particularly liked episode 12, which technically is a one-off thing, but it does move the main plot forward, and it focuses on Crosshair, which is not in the main group anymore. And the episode is surprisingly dark for a show that is aimed primarily at kids. And I also liked the two-part finale, which is surprising even to myself, because as it was starting, I was prepared to not like it. I thought I knew full well where it's going to go, what it's going to do, what's going to happen, and how it will all end. I expected a fairly standard, action-packed rescue mission with a relatively happy ending. But without spoiling too much, the show goes a completely different route and ends things with a complete defeat for the heroes, much like The Empire Strikes Back did all those years ago, and leaves them in very interesting places to set up the next season, which honestly promises to be a lot, promises to have a lot of potentially great payoff for all the setup done thus far. Other than that, animation quality was better than before. I thought the show is pretty gorgeous throughout, and the voice acting remains excellent as always. I also found myself to enjoy the humor quite a bit more than before. I think it lands better, it's better written. Overall, it's still very much a show for people who are Star Wars fans already, but if you're in that group, I'd say it's definitely worth watching. The first season was okay, the second one I'd say was a notch above that, and I expect the third one to be the best one yet, based on where we end this time around.